Hi friends, I'm Ashley and welcome to Darling Cottage Diary. I'm going to be doing something new that I kind of haven't, I'm kind of like, why didn't I do this before? So sometimes y'all know I like to do voiceover. I'm going to start releasing 2 videos a week when I do voiceover so that the people who like the no talking ASMR more style videos to fall asleep and study and blah blah blah, you'll still get your videos even on the weeks that I do the more video essay voiceover stuff, because sometimes I just like to be yappy. So that's what's going to happen. I'll release that video with no talking in a couple of days. So moving on to today's video, the aesthetic theme that I'm going for in this art journal page is Mona Lisa's Smile, based on the movie. It's a 2003 movie that stars Julia Roberts and Kirsten Dunst and Julia Stiles and a whole lot of famous actors and actresses, right? And it was actually happening, they filmed that kind of before a whole lot of the younger actresses blew up and started getting Academy Awards and Golden Globes. So it's cool to see them as these younger characters. Some of the actresses you can see who are extras kind of in the background, who only say 1 or 2 words, actually become quite famous as well. And so that's interesting because they're like barely credited in the film, but that was their start. So that is cool to see on that side of it. But the primary theme of the movie, it's dark academia aesthetic in New England, collegiate 1950s. That's our background. And we're at a very conservative Wellesley College for women, right? And Julia Roberts is this kind of bohemian art history teacher who comes to shake everybody up and teach everybody about feminism. Like, it's some of her character is very overtoned, but what I like about that movie is all of the other characters, and of course I love Julia Roberts. I just think her character, not that her acting, but the character itself was drawn a little strong. But I've been thinking about the movie a lot because of the uproar about the Butker speech, and if you don't know what that is, the kicker for one of the kickers of the Kansas City Chiefs gave a televised commencement speech at a Catholic college. I can't remember if it's his alumni or not, but he said a whole lot of things in it, but what people grabbed onto was his address of the women who were graduating and saying, things. You can go watch it for your own context, but basically just congratulating on them on their achievements and being successful, graduates, and wishes of going on and doing great things in the world, but also, becoming the future mothers and wives of America. And so I didn't think it was offensive. And I don't consider myself super conservative, but wow, the kind of reactions that I've seen, particularly from women, have been pretty extreme. One could also use the word vicious. And I don't know, I just thought I would offer kind of a measured, middle-of-the-road thought on it through the lens of this movie, because I feel like this movie does a good job of talking about those kinds of things that women face when making decisions, especially early in life, because our biology does not necessarily complement how our modern financial system works, how our modern relationships work. There's a lot about modern life that is very different from most of human history. And so some people really took offense to it. Some people loved what he said. And I just thought, because I've kind of lived both lives of being a stay-at-home mom and housewife, and also being a working solo parent and being a collegiate graduate, like I feel like I've lived a lot of lives in my very short life I've had so far. And since most of my audience is women under 34, I wanted to, I don't know, just offer some kind of thoughts on this whole thing that seems to shame women no matter what you choose. We're not doing that here today. So my favorite character, her name is Joan, and she's played by Julia Stiles, and she is this iron fist in a silk glove, very elegant and reserved, but very smart and I really like her character, and I relate to her a lot in that she doesn't say a whole lot. She's always on the periphery of her friends, observing. She doesn't offer much to the conversation unless she really has something she feels she can contribute. Not one to like talk to hear herself or talk to just interact with people. She's very methodical in how she interacts. And the overarching theme of the movie is very like women can do anything and girl boss babe, yeah. And it's more nuanced than that, but sometimes some parts it's not. And I like her character because she is the one who calls out Julia Roberts. She's the one who calls out this teacher who is stomping around this very conservative, very restricted environment, traditional environment, saying these women are smart. They're physics majors. They're chemists. They're these leaders, and they're fiery and intelligent, and all they can think about is getting married and having babies, and it sickens me. kind of ideology, right? But then Joan calls her out, and she respects this teacher. She loves this teacher. She respects her quite a lot, and all of the girls do. But she calls her out and says, "You know what? I realize that this may seem terrible to you, that I've gotten married, and that I'm not going to go to law school. I'm not going to do all these things that you kind of maniacally want me to do. But I'm not going to wake up and regret not being a lawyer. Or even if I do, I would regret not having a family, not having children more. And you tell us to look past the painting, look past the person, look past things all the time to see the heart of them, but you don't. You look at a housewife and all you see is someone who's traded her soul for a center hall colonial. She has no depth, no intellect, no interests. And that's not true. Me being a housewife and wanting to raise a family doesn't make me any less smart. And that's contrasted with one of the other women who gets married with a big traditional ceremony and everything else. Halfway through the movie, she ends up filing for divorce by the end of the movie. It's not overtly, the traditional is the way to go. It is very balanced in we make choices, and those choices affect the rest of our lives, but it doesn't necessarily mean any of them are wrong or right. It's what we want. That's the whole point of living in a free country. Men and women. And I just loved that character's dynamic the most out of all of them, although all of the characters are very interesting case studies. They're kind of caricatures, but the actresses keep them from being caricatures, really. Anyway, it's a fantastic movie. So, how these themes play into a lot of the discourse that is going on in our modern social media landscape, and not off social media too, just in people's everyday lives. The thoughts about higher education, family structure, gender roles, all of these things. It's a constant renegotiation, both as a society and individually. Just figure out where you are on that spectrum. Try not to be at the extreme ends of either, because then you get lost in overly identifying with something, and you wake up one day and it's not your life. It's not what you actually wanted. You were just happy that you were being heard. You don't want to be there. You want to be comfortable in your own head, in your own life. And I would recommend having a backup plan for whatever your plans are. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, go for it. It's a wonderful thing to experience. It's really hard in some ways, but in some ways it's a really, really, I would never go back and not be that for my kids. If you want that, do it. But have a backup plan, because nobody goes into marriage thinking they're going to get divorced. So whether you have a side business, whether you get a degree, get a certificate program, you work a couple of years before you get married and start having kids, whatever that is, just make sure that you are okay if things change. And that's going to be my literal only advice, because there are so many options and there are so many, it's almost overwhelming the kind of options we have in modern life of what we can do. And I know a lot of people, it's easy to get on social media and go down the doomsday spiral of people bemoaning capitalism and people bemoaning like so many things. And it's just, humans, the way our brains work, we look for danger, fear stays with us. These negative things that cause anxiety and cause stress, our brains are very good at picking them out. And we also have a lot more exposure to information than we've ever had before, than our brains have adapted and evolved to understand and deal with and sort through. And so I would just suggest not searching for that validation externally of the course of your life. Figure out what makes you happy and go for that. And know that it's not going to be an easy road, because life is not an easy road. And that's okay. Trust in yourself that you're strong enough to deal with whatever comes. Still have a plan, but just trust yourself. Ugh, that hurt. That hurt getting knocked down. I didn't want to do that. Okay, what's my next plan? What's my next step? You just deal with the things that come to you and keep going. That's all you have to do, is keep going. And when it comes down to that, and you get over the, oh, everybody's against me, and the systems are against me, and this is against me, and this is against me. No. Push it all aside. You're in control of your life. Go after what you want. So those are my thoughts on it. Not an extreme view at all. And I think most people live between all of these extremes that we see, but because we see them a lot online, it's easy to think that everybody is that extreme, and I don't think that's true. Anyway, so tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Share your stories about, if you've had plans change for the better or worse. If you feel comfortable sharing, that's okay. But especially if you are, older than 34, I think that's, or maybe older than early 20s, and show other people that sometimes things happen and it actually turns out for the better. It hurts in the moment and then it turns out for the better. Anyway, so before I end this, I wanted to go ahead and thank my Ephemera Club. They support me every month, and I create digital printables. We have a Discord server. They vote on themes for the ephemera. And if you're in the higher tier, I also send out handmade parcels, handmade and vintage, and just found things of little ephemera parcels that you get through the mail and can use in your own journals. So thank you. Catherine, Anya, Kim, Nikki, Tanya, Tracy, Shayna, Krista, Donna, Cindy, Kathleen, Sasha, Patsy, Teresa, Effie, Julie, Kim, Emily, Carly, Carrie, Leprechaun Mom, Britt, Alicia, Kenna, Rachel, Denise, W, Ariel, Rasha, and Jennifer. Thank you so much. Y'all guys are awesome. Now, if you've made it this far, please leave me a little stack of books or the little brown heart or any emoji that makes you think of dark academia. And just leave me your thoughts about things like higher education and family. I'm really interested to kind of, these voiceover videos, I like having discourse in the comments section. So, and like I said at the beginning of the video, if you prefer the ASMR with no voiceover, I'm going to be posting that in a few days. It will have a little bit different description. It will say Cozy ASMR no talking, so you'll know the difference between the two, and I'll go ahead and make two playlists, ones with voiceovers and ones not, so that if you want to hear the voiceovers, you can. If you want to just fall asleep, you can put the playlist on. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll see you all in a couple of days with that other video. And if you have any questions about supplies I've used, or if you want to request a video theme, feel free to put that in the comments. I always read them and respond. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Bye.